Hello everybody, welcome. So there's 5 of you so far. Hello Giovanni, ciao. Hello Joy. Hello Mark. Hello Scott. Hello Renee. Hello Stella. Hello Nancy. Giovanni, thanks for transferring over. Hello Pamela. Okay, well, welcome everybody. I'm glad you could join me. Let's get this to go up. There we go. So today we have about 24 colors to go over. I think it's going to be it'll be fun. It's quite a few. So what I did is I picked out the Cerulean Blue, Cerulean Blue Chromium. I picked out all the cobalts, so we'll look at all of the cobalts. I picked out all the Mayans, so we'll look at all of the Mayans. We'll look at Moonglow and Shadow Violet. And then look at Peridot Blue, Viridian, Prussian Blue, and we'll look at Potter's Pink. So let me go ahead and focus this down. And what I've done each way, hello Rin. What I've done, and you might, this might be of interest to some of you, is you can go to the danielsmith.com site and you could use the C-Lab information to look at the colors. For example, the ceruleans are the coolest. This would tell you over here the relative brightness. So if you looked at Cerulean Blue versus Cerulean Blue Chromium, the Cerulean Blue has a 78 on the L, which means it's much brighter than the Cerulean Blue Chromium. 78 versus 58. Hello Anika. Hello Ethel. Same thing with the cobalts. You can see which cobalts are warm, which ones are cool, and which ones are the coolest. And relative brightness. For example, Cerulean, Cobalt Yellow, PY40 is an 89, so it's a very bright cobalt. Hello, Ethel. So you can look at them relative to each other. It's just kind of interesting information. The Mayans, there's one cool Mayan, and that is the Mayan Violet. Here we have the Mayan Blue and Mayan Dark Blue, and they're the coolest of the Mayans. And then for the really warm ones, there is the Mayan Yellow, Mayan Red, and Mayan Orange. And if you wanted to see, for example, it's this quadrant right here. And I'll just do this for a second, and if you have questions, you can leave them in the comments. I'd be glad to go over. 88 is going to be the brightest, and that's Mayan Yellow. And then for the darkest, we have 37, Mayan Dark Blue. Hello, Misha. Hello, Besnick. Thank you, Colleen. So just information, and I'm going to try to do this each time. That way, for any of you that are interested, you can have the same information for yourself. And I just do a quick little quadrant over here. I give the information right here, but this is where I'm getting it. This is the warmest quadrant. This is the red, the green, the blue, and the yellow. This is the warmest. This is the coolest, and warm. Okay, and this is the brightness. So from very the blackest at 0 to the whitest at 100. That's in general how to look at the C-Lab. So with that, let me put that to the side. The other thing that I do for each set of colors, I'm going to see if I bring this down to have you maybe see it a little bit better. is I print out the colors that we're going to review. And so it has the color in English, and you can put it in Spanish or Italian or German or whatever you would prefer. The series is how it's priced. The common pigment name. So for example, Moonglow, it would tell you Moonglow has 3 pigments. It has Viridian, Ultramarine Blue, and Anthraquinoid Red. And English is called Moonglow, but this is the common pigment name. The common index name right here. So whether it's pigment yellow 40, which is Cerulean, or pigment yellow 233, which is the Mayan yellow. The life fastness of them. Remember, if it's a 1, it's 100 plus years. If it's 2, it's 100 years. Whether it stains or doesn't, whether it's low, non-staining, or medium staining. Granulation, it does or doesn't granulate. Transparency, and then what it's available in. So it's just good information to have. I'm not frozen on my side. So, can any of you leave me a message just so I know that you're not frozen? The last one I have from Mr. Grelia. I have yours. I don't see it frozen on my side. There we go. So Misha says he's not frozen. So that might be on your internet provider, Stella. All right, so this is the general information. I just like that. I know some of the brand ambassadors will do color tests, etc., and keep all their color tests together just because it's information. This may also be of interest to you. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Ethel, for testing. Okay, so let's look at some of the colors. And then I'll have this up here in case you ask some questions. We can refer to this. Okay. So let's look at Cerulean Blue and Cerulean Blue Chromium. So Colleen, the color charts like this, or the information like this. They're both available on danielsmith.com. This is actually lists all 261 colors and all the information that comes with it, and I just sort out with the ones that I want to use. And this is available as a flippable color chart on the DS site. Okay, Cerulean Blue. Yeah, it's going to be interesting when we all go back to work. The internet's probably going to be actually probably much faster since nobody will be streaming. Okay, so let's take a look at these first. We've made really good ground going over the colors. I'm going to raise this up a little bit so you can see better. There we go. Okay, that's Cerulean Blue. Now we'll do Cerulean Blue Chromium. Okay, so Cerulean Blue, Cerulean Blue Chromium. So next we have the Cerulean. Okay. So it's going to be Cerulean. Hello, Joy. So that's Cerulean, which is cobalt yellow. Okay, Cerulean. Now we'll look at Cobalt Blue Violet. That's Cobalt Blue Violet. Yeah, I messed that up. This is Cobalt Blue Violet. And this is going to be Cobalt Blue. That's pretty. It's a different speaker system. I hope that's working better. I actually have a new, I put a different speaker. And I've been online with it twice, and it seems to work really well. If you're having problems, let me know. Please. Okay, that's Cobalt Blue. Hello, Agnes. Okay, it's Cobalt Green. Cobalt Green. Okay, and this is Cobalt Green Pale. Man, that is pale. Cobalt Green Pale. Oh, Rome must have been gorgeous. Okay, this is Cobalt Turquoise. Hello, Angela. Okay, that's Cobalt Turquoise. That's fantastic. You're getting to travel everywhere. And this last one before I clean up is going to be Cobalt Violet. Cobalt Violet. Oh, good. I'm glad you're on, Stella. So before I put these away, are there any mixes that you want to see? Because I can do some. We can play with some mixing. Why don't we do that? Let me get a sheet of paper. This is Cerulean. So this is pigment yellow 40. Cerulean or cobalt yellow is this one right here. And that's the Cobalt Turquoise. Cobalt Turquoise, Cerulean. This is the Cobalt Blue. And this is Cobalt Green. The last color here, Linda, is Cobalt Turquoise. Oh, it's right here. This is Cobalt Violet. Cobalt Violet was the last color I put down right here. Right there. That's Cobalt Violet. I thought I'd just put some before I clean this off, play around a little bit. Oh, thank you, Colleen. Okay, so let me clean this off. the one next to Cobalt Violet is the Cobalt Turquoise. So let me move this out of the way so you can see it. There we go. Yep, there we go. Last one will be right here, it'll be Cobalt Violet Deep. What is next to Cobalt? What is next to Cobalt as it is blue? So let me just go over each one. So over here we have the Cerulean Blue, the Cerulean Blue Chromium. This is the Cerulean, which is Cobalt Yellow. This is Cobalt Blue Violet. Much more violet here in front of me than on the screen. This is Cobalt Blue. This is Cobalt Green. This one is Cobalt Green Pale. This is Cobalt Turquoise. And this one right here is Cobalt Violet. Cobalt Violet. So the last one we'll do here is going to be Cobalt Violet Deep. So, Cobalt Violet, Cobalt Violet Deep, Cobalt Violet Deep. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to the Fabriano. It's 3 o'clock Seattle time, 3 o'clock a.m. Seattle time, so be fun. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to put these to the side. Cobalt Blue Violet to Ultramarine, Cobalt Blue Violet. Cobalt, so this is quite violet here. I mean, it's not that bad on the screen. Let's come on back. Ready? There we go. If this were ultramarine, it would be very, very blue. Here, just it's hard to find a sample, but this is going to be the ultramarine, but actually quite watered down because I wanted to make it into a pastel. So you can see there's the ultramarine, there's the blue violet, there's the cobalt blue, there's the ultramarine. Ultramarine would actually be much darker than this sample. This is one I was using for pastel, so it has much more water added to it. I mean Cobalt Violet Deep. Okay, so here's the Cobalt Violet Deep, and there's the ultramarine. How does the Cobalt Blue light? So I think you're just saying how they look together. This is going to be much more bluer than this right here, by far. think I showed you the Cobalt Tail Blue. So let me show you Cobalt Tail Blue. Yeah, it's going to be 3 a.m. in the morning for Seattle. That's okay. Anything for art. I'm pretty sure I did this one, but I'll just do it again. This is the Cobalt Tail Blue. Cobalt Tail Blue. Renee, I wonder if the same was just pulling up the chart. No, I'm fine with that. Okay, so the next one we're going to look at, next series, I'm going to put these back behind me real quick. Yeah, it would actually be a very early morning for me. So this is going to be manganese blue U. HUE, which means it is not manganese. So we'll look at that in a second. So manganese blue U. It's a pretty color. So that's manganese blue U. So manganese blue U is phthalocyanine blue. Okay, it's phthalocyanine blue, PB15. Hello, Gabriel. From beautiful, beautiful San Diego. I think there's only one weather in San Diego. It's just called beautiful. Mayan Blue Genuine. Oh, that's the first Mayan we're going to do, Mayan Blue Genuine. So the Mayans, Mayan Blue Genuine, and the other Mayans, which are made very similar, but the other Mayans don't have a pedigree, they don't have a history behind them. But the Mayan Blue Genuine is indigo infused into clay, and it's a process that the Mayans used, and there's a history behind it. While the other ones use the same process, they don't have a pedigree. They do not have a history behind them, so that's why they're not part of the Genuine series. So there we go. That's the Mayan Blue Genuine. This is the manganese blue, and that's the Mayan Blue Genuine. The next one is going to be Mayan Dark Blue. It's boring to have the same weather. It's a beautiful, beautiful city, San Diego. It's kind of, visiting. I think you all live in beautiful places that I live to visit. Spain is gorgeous. Netherlands, Belgium, Sweden. I mean, just there's none that isn't. So this is Mayan Dark Blue. Yeah, so if you wanted to kind of show yourself in terms of the spectrophotometer where things fell, green or more blue or more yellow or more red, what have you, you could just graph those out to see where the colors are relative to each other on the C-Lab. It's kind of one of the fun things about it. And you can certainly use your eyes too, which is a different way. There's Mayan orange. This is going to be Mayan. This will be Mayan red. These mix really, really, really easy. So there's the Mayan red. Mayan red. This is going to be Mayan Violet. Just hold her out. Hello, George. That's the Mayan Violet. Yeah, the dot cards are really, it's a very, very good way to go because you can test out 238 of the colors, which is really nice. And then this is going to be the Mayan yellow. Yellow. Hello, Raffaele. Good to see you. Okay, let me wash this off. George says, I see some of my most loved colors here. Yes, these are the manganese. This is the manganese blue U. This is the Mayan Blue Genuine. This is the Mayan Dark Blue. This is the Mayan Orange, the Mayan Red, the Mayan Violet, and the Mayan Yellow. I love this porcelain. Maybe not cleaning it so much, but it just makes getting that page is so easy. Here we go. So now we're going to look at Moonglow, Potter's Pink, and Prussian Blue. So the Mayan colors are made with the same process. They use the clay, and so let's look at the Mayan Violet. So the Mayan Violet, whether it's the dark blue, the orange, the red, the violet, or the yellow, they're all using the organic pigment. So it's a hybrid of inorganic organic pigment to make these right here. And the Mayan Blue Genuine is that indigo infused into clay. So George says, oh, they do create beautiful neutrals, and what about the Mayan Dark Blue neutrals and vivid darks too? So one thing you can use for opera pink culling, you can use the rhodonite which is a Primatech. You can use the rhodonite. Nothing is going to really match. Nothing is going to match the fluorescence of the opera. It is just a very, very vibrant. It's a fluorescent. I only use one, and that's because it's fugitive. But if you put it behind UV glass, you put it out of direct sunlight, it's going to last longer, but it's not the same as a truly light, fast pigment. So you might want to try I'll do the Primatex probably in about 2 weeks, and if you I will write that question down just to show you how they compare to each other. But nothing's going to match the vibrancy of the opera pink fluorescent. Okay, so let's take these other colors. I'm going to take these off. Okay, so this is Moonglow. This will be Moonglow. So Moonglow is made with ultramarine blue, Viridian, and anthracoid red. It is an extremely good granulating color. It's a very good granulating color. The neat thing about it, even though it's made with 3 pigments, because they're mixed dried and then the gum arabic is added, you will not get mud mixing it with another color. You could probably go up to 3 colors and not get mud. But the granulation is pretty awesome. So Rose Madder, we used to make Rose Madder Genuine, and we stopped that some time ago, and now just make the Rose Madder Permanent. It's very difficult to keep a continuity of color with the Rose Madder because it's a laked pigment, which means it's a dye that's infused to a metal halide to make it a pigment. And it was very difficult to match the color time and time again. Very, very, very difficult. So this is Potter's Pink. And it's called Potter's Pink because it's very similar to the pink of pottery. Prussian Blue. I mean, talk about intense. This is an intense blue. Really intense blue. Okay, so this is the Moon Glow, this is the Potter's Pink, and this is the Prussian Blue. It's a beautiful blue. All right, I'm going to take those off for a second. Let me bring this other one back. To bring this back for a second. So this is what we just did a couple minutes ago. There we go. This is the Cerulean Chromium, Cerulean, Cobalt Blue Violet, Cobalt Blue, Cobalt Green, Cobalt Green Pale, Cobalt Turquoise, Cobalt Violet, Cobalt Violet Deep. I'll let them dry for a couple minutes and then we'll look at that one. This is going to be Shadow Violet. So Shadow Violet we call a happy mistake. One of the batch makers was making Moon Glow, and instead of using the anthraquinoid red, he used Pyro Orange. So it still has the Viridian, it still has the ultramarine, but it's Pyro Orange. So it's going to be slightly orange, whereas the Moon Glow is slightly red because of the anthraquinoid red. Yeah, the Potter's Pink is an interesting color. Okay, Viridian. I think you've asked about this one before, Raphael, with this particular color. I believe so. So there is Shadow Violet. Peridot Blue. The Prussian Blue is really, I agree, it's super intense. And this is the Viridian. There we go. So this is the Viridian. And I'll move that so that you'll be able to see it better. To see if I can do that. So this is the Viridian right there. There we go. Yeah, we can play with them. George says, using these even washes don't do justice to such beautiful colors like Shadow Violet or Moon Glow. Their real beauty is when more colors appeal through diffusion, when used on pre-wet surface, for instance. Beautiful. Yeah, my camera is, it looks for motion. It's a really good camera, but so that's great. If you haven't seen George's site, I would suggest that you go to George's, Giovanni's, Raffaelle's, Stella's. And in the artist studio, they show you a lot more of their techniques, which is quite nice. All right. Let me see. Yeah, I try to shoot for the middle ground when it comes to the microphones and cameras. I've played with them, and then I would lose all of you because it would just, for whatever reason, it would just cancel the session. I think it thought I was done. These cameras are just, they're just super good. They're just really super smart too. Alright, so let's look at the ones we just did. So that's that Prussian blue. There's the Potter's pink. Potter's pink. The moon glow. So there's the moon glow. Let me show you the and there's the Shadow Violet. So I'm more red, I'm more orange. And there's the Mars colors, the Mars yellow, violet, red, orange, dark blue, and Mayan blue genuine. And there's manganese. No, I think George, what you mentioned was fantastic. I mean, I'm drawing the colors out so the viewers can see them. I think the dimension that I don't have here much of the time is from an artist such as yourself and Stella and Giovanni and Raffaele, where you can mix and talk about how the colors, when you mix them, have these unique characteristics. That's really more from an artist, and I so much appreciate all of you coming on and sharing your input. I super appreciate it. So Raffaele says Viridian Blue is getting more and more popular in Italy. And that's the Viridian. It's actually kind of a very, very pretty blue. And so Viridian Blue is made with PB28, Pigment Blue 28, Pigment Blue 36, and Pigment White number 4. So that is Cobalt Blue, Cerulean Blue Chromium, and Zinc White. So very interesting. So it has and it's semi-transparent, low staining and granulating, which we can see. Mark is going to give Viridian another look. Yeah, as somebody mentioned, the 238 dot cards are a really good way to test because you're not putting the money out for a tube. there's enough that you can kind of play with the characteristics of the paint. So that might also be a good way to go. Stella says Viridian is good for glazing. Hello, Caroline. Caroline's in Australia. Down under. Okay. So Angela says, I understand. I think Shadow Violet is the same as Moonglow, just orange instead of red. Yeah, so the Shadow Violet and the Moonglow both have Viridian. They both have ultramarine. The difference is the Moonglow has anthraquinoid red and the Shadow Violet has pyrrole orange. So they're both made of 3 pigments. Okay, with that, that was 20, I believe we went over 24 colors. Yep, we went over 24 colors. We're almost done. We're almost done the, quite a few of these today, but we're almost done going over the general colors. So we'll cross out 24 of these today, so there's not that many left. And then we'll go over the Primitex. We'll go over the luminescence. And then we'll look at the watercolor ground. Before I go over the luminescence, if there's any way that you want to see them, any way that would, I know when Claudia Hernandez is on, she's really, really good with the luminescent colors. If there's any other way you want to see them, a better way for me to answer questions for you, let me know what that is and I'll put that together. What I was thinking of doing is not just show the pearlescent and then the duochrome and then the iridescent, kind of explain those, take 10 minutes and explain the differences between the 4 types of luminescence, but then just mix it up and maybe test them on black paper. But if you want to see it a different way, please let me know. I read your comments. You don't need to comment now. You can comment anytime and I'll go read your comments. With that, thank you for joining me. You really make the time great for me. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. So thanks a lot. Bye-bye, and I'll see you next time. I'll see you in Fabriano on Saturday. Friday morning at 3 a.m. in the morning. It'll be great.